Okay, so day 3 of walking done. The main aim of today was to just make it to the next closest bed because I wanted to get out of La Panadella. The people there were lovely in the hotel, but just a weird spot. So, walked to Ceverra, which is 17 kilometers away. As I said yesterday, my foot was in a bad way. All of yesterday evening up until night time, I was limping basically. But in the morning, it was all right. It wasn't causing me much pain. I kind of maybe got about 600 meters before it started aching again. And then I found a stick. It took me a bit of time to find a good stick, but and carried that all the way to this spot. But yeah, it was a really nice walk today. From La Panadella to Ceverra. It was mainly through kind of farmland, so it was kind of dirt trails, quite wide dirt trails, well established, kind of single lane roads, and yeah, kind of like fields in the distance, and low hills, just kind of that's what kind of like my general surroundings, fields and low hills and kind of pine trees and stuff. Went through a few really sweet towns. I think one called San Antonio, where I got some water. Walked into this kind of bar to get the water. It's the only thing open in the town. There were about 20 men there. I don't know if they worked. They worked on like some construction sites in the nearby, but they all looked at me like, "What the hell is going on here?" But yeah, got my bottle of water from there and carried on. I saw loads of cats, loads of tractors, walked past a couple of really sweet orchards, which I took a photo of one of them, and also some pig farms, which weren't very nice. I took a photo of them as well. But the smell that comes out of them is horrendous. It's kind of like an intense smell of a petting zoo, like just kind of like general farm / dirt / feed smell, mixed with a really strong smell of shit, like really kind of intense manure, and you could also kind of hear the pigs as well, kind of like a few kind of squeals and stuff. It just wasn't very pleasant. So I'm going to try and learn what free range is, or outdoor bred, is in Catalonian and Spanish, and keep an eye out for it on menus. I'm not sure if that's really a thing here, but I'll keep an eye out for it. Otherwise, I don't think I'll eat any pork in the restaurants or bars for at least another 30 minutes or something. So yeah, it was quite sad. Yeah, had to tape up my feet a little bit. Actually, I taped my feet up at the beginning of the day. I had to add some more to my little pinky toe on my right foot, but so far, blister-free really. It's not caused me much grief. The last part of the walk, maybe like the last quarter, or maybe even last third, was running alongside the A2 and then something called the N11 or the N2. It's because it's N dash, then I kind of symbols. I'm not sure if it's 11 or probably 11 actually. Now I say it. The N11, and yeah, so not many turns, not super interesting, but I could see Ceverra in the distance. So, and there's a lovely church in Ceverra, which is right on the. Ceverra is basically on a hill, and on the furthest point of the hill, there's a quite big church. So it's quite a nice view. But it's pretty grim walking on this foot when there's not enough pain for me to have to stop loads. Had to stop a few times, but over 17 kilometers, that's not really that bad, but it is uncomfortable enough for me to kind of constantly be aware of it. But because it felt right this morning, I'm thinking now I stop walking at about 12ish today. If I give it a good rest, it might probably be in better shape tomorrow, and I might even stay another night at this hostel because it's a cheap one and the town's got everything you need. or I'll walk 12 kilometres to Ceverra, which is also quite a big town, and stay there. So we'll see how I feel tomorrow. But I'm gonna, regardless, whatever happens, it'll be quite a small day tomorrow. I had planned to be at a place called Algera, something like that, tomorrow. And I've actually booked a hostel which I need to cancel. That'll be a 50-something kilometre walk tomorrow. So I'm not going to make that. This slow me down a bit. But yeah, I think my body's just warming up to this way of living. Hopefully it doesn't cause me much grief much longer. This hostel's really sweet. I'll send you, I'll do I don't know if I can turn my camera around for some reason. But yeah, this is the hostel. That's where I am. It's my room. So at the moment, just got a place to myself. It's also a hostel for people who I think, I don't know if you call them homeless, but they can't afford living. That's what most of the beds here are for. This is just a small area for the little nerdy pilgrims. Met a lovely guy called Lammy when I arrived. Actually, I walked to the wrong place initially, but the two women instantly kind of knew where I was trying to get to, and they found it quite funny. I have no idea what I did walk into. Actually, it was a strange building, but they took me here quite quickly. Lammy greeted me at the front desk, and we kind of got chatting, and he's from the Gambia. He is, I think, 20 years old now. He arrived in Barcelona when he was 17, and he left the African continent by boat, landed at the Canary Islands. It was a 12-day boat trip. He left without any family. I think his father had passed away by this point, and he has two younger siblings, who's the eldest child, and it's kind of his responsibility, the eldest son and the eldest man in the family, to go and, to provide. So he came to Europe in hope of, being able to earn more money, basically. And if it goes, if it went well, then he could tell his family, his siblings, to also come over, maybe even his mum. But the main focus, at least initially, was to get money, send it back to them so they can have a slightly better quality of life. But yeah, 12-day boat ride at the age of 17 on your own. He said it was so wavy as well. Must be horrendous. And, the only reason he was doing it was for that kind of, quality of life. And, it must have been terrifying for him. But when he arrived in Barcelona, because he wasn't 18, he's still considered a child. Well, from Canary Islands, they sent him to Barcelona. When he was in Barcelona, because he wasn't 18, they set him up in a kind of shared living accommodation, free of charge, put him into a school, gave him food, like meals and everything, so he could survive and live. At 18, you have to leave that accommodation. They give you papers for a certain number of years. He said a lot of people kind of get 2 years to find, find a job, or I think he's been given 3 years. He's now obviously working here in Ceverra in this albergue. His Spanish isn't great, he was telling me, so we're just chatting in English, but hopefully I get to know him a bit better, if I stay here tomorrow as well. But really, really sweet kids, and he's 20 years old and done that already, so strong guy. But yeah, nice, relatively nice place. It's a really big building. There's a kitchen, but I can't use an oven, so I think I'm going to microwave some eggs and some spinach, get some nuts and stuff. Before I forget, before I kind of had the final push, so I was walking along the A2, then I kind of veered off through a little town, then went back onto the N11. There's this tiny, you can't even call it a town, maybe like 10 houses or something. But it was beautiful. Like, the flower arrangement was unreal. They're all really, the flowers were all really well cared for, well watered. They were thriving. They were like wooden sculptures that looked like they'd been carved, hanging from the arches and doorways and stuff. So the people who live there, you know, they got great eye, great taste, very proud of their little hamlet. And this guy came charging out of his door, and he was topless and pretty fat, and so, started speaking to me in Catalonian or Spanish, and I quickly kind of understood I was doing the Camino de Santiago and couldn't speak English, so. But when he found out I was doing the Camino de Santiago, he was like, "Oh, hombre, vamos, you know, like, vamos aquí. And he was taking me away, so that the sign in the town was telling me to go out one exit. He was telling me to come around the corner and go a different way. So I was like, "Oh, all right, what's going on here?" Walk around the corner, and he's like, I could just about understand what he was saying, but he's basically suggesting I take the road down here, leave the village, a different way, look for a pocorillo, a little river, and then follow that river up into Ceverra, because that's more direct and it's nicer on the feet. He mentioned the feet because I told him my foot was sore, so I wanted to kind of like stick to the original path in case I get lost. And he was like, no, this is, you know, pocorillo, I don't know, whatever, very nice, very quick. And he was quite insistent that, you know, didn't want to be rude, but definitely was not going to go looking for a pocorillo. And eventually he kind of got that, well, I can only understand a fraction of what he was saying, and he's like, "Oh, you know, don't worry about it, you know, go the normal way." All happy, you know, didn't take any offence at all. But yeah, if I'd gone that way, definitely would have. I still would be looking for that pocorillo. And I couldn't actually see one when I walked up to Ceverra, but I'm sure he was telling the truth. Yeah, that was fun. So yeah, I think that's basically it today. I'm sure I've missed out some things, but a calmer day, only 17 kilometers, nice from the body. Let's see how the foot feels tomorrow. Adios.